Welcome back to the channel. Tonight we've got another unboxing video. This is the Hobbyboss Su 47, otherwise known as the S-37. It was a testbed aircraft the Russians did back in the early 21st century, late 20th, early 21st century. This is the 2004 tooling, but the kit was actually made, this boxing seems to be from 2018 according to the copyright, but it was based, I believe, on the 2009 boxing. Anyway, like I said, this is a 72nd scale kit. This was an experimental aircraft with the forward facing wings, so it makes a good what if subject. Only built one or so of them, met with some limited success. It was more of a test bed. So yeah, something unique about this was the areas, the small little protrusions out the back were two different lengths. One was for an ECM pod and one was for a rear-facing radar. So no, you're not seeing things there when we get to it. Anyway, that's the box. Standard Hobbyboss gives a brief little explanation. Only did one aircraft, as I said, one scheme. Would have been an interesting what if they'd solved some of the issues. I did pick this up at the Brofdale stash sale, as we call it. So let's get right to the sprues. This is a big aircraft. You don't realize how big it is, but it's fairly large, even in 1/72nd scale. So we're going to turn on the other light there. So there's what I'm talking about. The rear radar would have been there, the ECM pod. Nice looking molding. Again, based on a 2004 molding, so keep that in mind. Very fine, hardly, you can barely feel the panel lines. Fairly low part count on this kit too, so it'll go together quick. There's the underside. There is no provisions to open the weapons bay, sadly. It did have an internal weapons bay. There's that. There is the cockpit tub on that side, you can see. Landing gear, wheels, other details there. And then the third sprue and last sprue is the wings, tail surfaces, nose, engine intake, exhausts, etc. Again, very fine detail there. If we look on the wings, you can just barely make it out, hopefully. You can see it there, so yeah. So it should be a fairly quick build to go together. And then we have the clear part for the canopy, two-part canopy. It looks like a lens of some sort for, I'm assuming, a landing gear light or something like that. Or a camera, ECM. That's that. And then we have the decals. As I said, there's only one marking. And the decals aren't in the best of shape from this example, but let me see if I can get the tape off them. And we will have a look. They are taped. Why Hobbyboss does this, I do not know, but let's just gently cut the one off. There you go. So again, the experimental one scheme there. And then we have the instructions. So we have the marking, as Hobbyboss does. They give you a full color call out with some Mr. Hobby plates. Basically black, white, burnt iron. Not a lot of other options there, although there is call outs internally. That's the external one. That's that. The instructions fairly straightforward. You've got a parts layout of what the sprues look like, and then you've got some more talking about the colors. So Mr. Hobby, in this case, they do the callouts, but they do Vallejo, Model Master, Tamiya, and Umbro. So you know, you get a choice. That's the cockpit, not very much for details there. Moving on to the back engine area. Port and starboard undercarriage. Like I said, very simple parts count. This is not going to take long to put together. And then tail, air brakes, etc. So yeah, Fairly simple, fairly straightforward, but again, interesting what-if build, and you can always have some fun doing some what-ifs behind you. Who knows what I'm going to do with this one, but we'll see. But like as I said, this is the Hobbyboss Sukhoi 47 in 1/72 scale. Don't forget, as always, like and subscribe to the channel here on YouTube, and blackfire.ca is the website. And I also run that other podcast called the Scale Model Podcast. Feel free to like and subscribe there. Thank you, and be well.